Hello and welcome to this live broadcast here on Moneycontrol. We are here to talk about a very interesting topic that is back making headlines, that is of deep fakes and how they've resurfaced after there was a morphed video of a woman called Zara Patel, whose image and video was used and morphed with the face of Rashmika Mandana, a celebrity. And that is why this whole topic has come back into discussion with even celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan pushing for a legal framework now, which is necessary for something like this. So let's get into the details of this. And to discuss this, I have with me two guests, Kanish Gaur, the founder of India Future Foundation, as well as Karnika said, she's a cybersecurity lawyer. Thank you both of you all for giving us your time. Let me come to Kanishk first and understand what all do we know about deep fakes and how big or how dangerous is this in the current situation of what we see?
Hi, thank you for having me here. So deepfakes represent a significant leap beyond the capabilities of traditional Photoshop images. While Photoshop allows alteration of still images, deepfake utilizes technology which uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to manipulate video content, which makes it appear as an individual is saying or doing something, and that is, basically created using generative adversarial networks called as GANs. Here, two machine learning models are worked in tandem. One looks at the video, one looks at the audio, and this iterative process results in creating a convincing fake video which surpasses the static nature of Photoshop images. Now, for a layman to understand deepfakes, it's challenging but not impossible. One should look for its inconsistencies. If you look at the Rashmika Mandana video, you will see unnatural blinking patterns, some facial distortions, mismatches between voice and lip movements. You will also see that there would be something sub-cues which will make you appear that the video will be not really coming out very clearly. So one needs to use certain, analysis and then use certain technology to find out if a specific video is a fake video or not. There are open source and commercial tools which are available today for analyzing, but a lot of times human eyes miss out on such measurements. So that's why it's kind of difficult when such videos go viral on social media.
Right. Now, what happens when one finds themselves in a situation like this? In fact, in the recent past, we've heard of so many, from personal experiences as well, I can say, where people have just, picked up a phone call and then randomly got threat calls with a video being shown to them of course, their face being morphed. And most of this used in, in pornographic content. And that's where you find yourself, and you're limited when it comes to what can you do. So as a layman, what should be my first steps when something like this happens to me? Kanishk, you can take that, and then I'll probably get to the legal side of it. So Kanishk, if you're a person who finds yourself like this, what is one to do?
So there are two things one need to do. If you find this on social media, you should report it to social media stating that you have been impersonated, and certain digital mediums are using it to propagate, right? And as per the policies of the social media platforms, they will take it down. You should also request your friends to, report the same. If 15-20 people try and report, normally such links go down. You could also reach out to trust and safety partners of social media platforms like India Future Foundation. We are one of the trust and safety partners. We help a lot of people get this content taken down. You can also use the provisions of the Indian IT Act. This basically looks at addressing impersonation and frauds which are conducted via digital means. However, there is still lacking a legal framework which could counter, aspects like deep fakes where AI is coming into the picture. That's why, emerging law, particularly the new law, which is in the Digital India Act, should look at covering this. Nevertheless, we should also look at creating public awareness campaigns to help people figure out what deep fakes are. And these campaigns should be done in partnership with government and social media platforms. Internationally, there have been dialogues which are happening. But for a common man, the best way is to report it to platforms or reach out to their trust and safety network, which are typically organizations whose job is to help people, stay safe online.
Right. So, Karnika, we have this laid out. We have an IT Act, which, according to certain sections of it, will, allow you or criminalize these kind of acts, but it has to come in that obscene content. But what if it's just a video like the one of Rashmika, where there is nothing much obscene about it, but it's not you, and you'd not want to put that? So then, is the next legal recourse only that of defamation? Do we not have something in between which really criminalizes this kind of behavior?
Absolutely. There would be different facts, depending on the facts of a case, different provisions of law apply. And as you rightly said, we have a special law in the country called the Information Technology Act. And when it comes to publishing any kind of obscene information, or rather circulation of the same, that is a punishable offense with up to 3 years of imprisonment and fine. Likewise, identity theft or cheating by personation is also an offense. It depends whether the video created or the image, is it morphed, is it made from the real, or it could be even AI created in today's times. Not only that, it could be superimposed, it could be a deep fake altogether. So it could also be just a representation, a sketch representation of the same. I mean, it doesn't have to be real also all the time, as it could be partially real. That's what different categories of deep fakes are all about. And it could also be a video which is completely an invasion of privacy, where actual video has been taken without the person's consent. So it really depends on facts of
Right.
every case. But yeah, as far as the deep fake is concerned, where a picture has been superimposed, if it's a morphed picture or a video, defamation is definitely something the person could be very immediately be liable for. On reporting of the same, investigation needs to be done, and we have a portal called cybercrime.gov.in, where these complaints are generally reported and action
Mm-hmm.
is taken. Blocking happens in 24 hours. That's for the intermediary guidelines rules of the Ministry of IT. So
Right.
that's also in place. However, one has to be careful. I mean, we have a 3 years of imprisonment, or that's not something which is deterrent enough. There are so many cyber crimes
Mm-hmm.
against
Right.
humanity. So this is one of the kinds of crimes which is percolating. And in order to curb this, we have to have strict implementation of the law, enforcement of law. So these
Right.
cases, they have to be investigated, and there has to be a prosecution which has to follow, and they,
Right.
they have to set example so that there is deterrence, and people cannot flout the law easily. That's
Right.
important.
So let me just go back to Kanishk and ask him. We obviously just have a law. We are saying that implementation, or it is right now on a very, people are still taking it lightly. There's no strict deterrent. What would be suggestions that could come from somebody, from the India Future Foundation to policymakers then, to take action against such acts?
Sure. So the social media platforms require to update their policies. So far, their policies don't take into account deepfakes or artificial intelligence. So, using the provisions of the Indian IT Act, or making certain amendments to the Indian IT Act, or by bringing in the Digital India Act, the government could force the social media platforms to bring in stronger measures, one to detect, the other to deter deepfakes, and also ensure takedowns that are happening. The IT Act provisions could also be used for enhancing public safety, where public could come forward and report to government any such frauds. So the cybercrime.gov.help, helpline, that could be used, or they can go to the nearest cyber police station and complain about a deepfake, which makes it easier. Social media platforms could also make more measures where people could report some of these deepfakes directly to them, and action could be taken. In case action is not taken, punitive measures could be, put up against these companies. So ensure that public safety, and trust is taken into consideration.
Right.
Our
But
courts are very, very
Kanika, yeah.
progressive on this. Yeah, our courts are very progressive, considering the technological evolution, the way crime is increasing today. I must bring to this table that we have dynamic injunction orders being passed by the Delhi High Court and other courts in the country, even Supreme Court. They are seized of this issue that if there is a video going viral, if it's a real video or a deep fake video, I mean, it has to stop. So we have had cases like, if you recall, there was a case of in Baba Ramdev's case also. If there was a defamation, a book or any kind of video circulated, or content which needs to be blocked, there were clear-cut, directions given by the courts that this has to be blocked, and if those hash value of that particular clip, that's how we compute the hash value is there, and it can be stopped from replication. Then there have been very clear directions by the court that that hash value video, if it's going, infringing the particular person's, say, even intellectual property right or privacy invasion or other kinds of fundamental rights, then that has to be blocked. Not only from public access within India, there were also categorical directions given in certain cases where if Justice Pratibha Singh's order, if you look at those orders, then even if the clip is circulated, like uploaded from India, it has to be blocked from public access. But global dynamic injunctions are also possible today. So it's not that it is not implementable. Our whole focus is that when we have technology, we have to have reins over it. You can't just let it loose. So there have to be
Right.
certain laws, and there are laws which can be implemented and are being implemented. That is the
Right.
spirit of the law.
I think the more broader context or the more broader discussion here is we are using AI and we are seeing how there are so many tools. In fact, the possible answer to something like this will perhaps come in AI deepfake detection tools, and that's what we're going to have to resort to counter something like that. But besides the counter mechanism which is still in works, we have so many people, and this is it's also being looked at as one sided, where it's being to weaponize women, because a lot of this is being used in the pornography industry. At least what we are seeing, most of this, at least 90% of what is coming out so far is coming content against women.
We deal with these
But that
cases
doesn't,
day in, day out. Yes, you're right.
right.
You're right. Bullying,
No,
intimidation of women, targeting women through sextortion, all kinds of sexual harassment. Even our IPC and our IT Act, we have provisions, but despite those provisions, we find these cases every day. So the enforcement is what will create an impact in the country. And when we
right.
discussed this in the roundtables with Honorable Minister also, Chandrasekhar ji, I time and again emphasize that we must have an AI law in the country. And I
Right.
also, in fact, I drafted
Yeah,
one
in fact, we
bill
did.
of
We just
AI.
yeah, just recently we saw the stalwarts in the industry, Elon Musk and all, also sitting together in that AI summit, which happened for the first time. All of them also
Yes,
raising alarm bells,
we
saying that
need
there
a
will be
separate
need
AI
for
law in the country.
regulations.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree
besides,
with you
but the fact that
100%.
our IT law itself, is not that stringent or not that deterrent. How different will this AI law be, and what are the suggestions we can make to make sure that these incidents don't occur, or that these incidents are something that people should be scared of to even take up something like this?
There's a draft bill also which is being like discussed. There has to be watermarking. There are different jurisdictions, different countries coming up with AI law where high risk systems are going to be regulated. Not only that, the watermarking will be there, that this is an image which is AI generated, so that people are not confused about whether this is real image or not. So there are not only issues of security or privacy concerns, but also IPR as a intellectual property, which is being put at stake. So therefore, the law must take care of not only national security concerns, keeping in mind the high-risk systems, but also the general, medium, and low-risk systems. There have to be very clear-cut guidelines on what is something that is, going to be regulated in the manner that personal privacy of people or individuals is not affected. At the same time, the IPR rights are also protected. So that kind of law and that separate legislation is the need of the hour. That's important.
Right. Although right now the problem is the fact that you're only resorting to the IT Act, and in that also it says the onus is on the platform. Then where is the deterrent for the people who are making this? Or because this can be misused in so many ways. Right from terrorist organizations trying to put out something to a lot of other reason other than just pornography is what we are reporting and talking about. What are the other headwinds as such as to where this extent can go, because the kind of tools that are coming up, it can be used in misused rather in so many other ways.
Youth
So
pornography, people have fake email accounts, people have fake accounts of social media, and that is a creation, that is a problem where onion routing is being used to camouflage the real identity of a person. Your IP can be camouflaged, you can have several layers of VPNs, and technology can be abused and misused as well. So therefore we, I've been an advisor to the Ministry of IT as well, where we drafted those laws, which now you're going to be seeing the telecom law also coming in. IT ministry has also come up with certain laws where within 6 hours, if there's a breach which has happened, the latest incident of Apple also. So whatever breaches happen in this domain, they have to be reported in 6 hour time window. So we are strengthening our law. The law is going to be strengthened even further with case laws, decisions of the court, the legislative functioning, the way ministry is working, excellent space at which we are coming out with rules. And we will see this whole it's going to be a multi-stakeholder approach. It's not just going to be single prong approach. So therefore that will really help us curb these problems. Even technology, you can easily surpass it, but we have to have one step ahead, like our
Right.
honorable PM. If you see the way he works, proactive, you have to be proactive to see how the criminal is going to be misusing the technology. And before even he does that, or simultaneous to that, we actually have a law in place and we are able to enforce the law. That is the approach that we need, and we are already taking this. We have had the G20 discussions and several following discussions happening, even GPI summit. So we are actually heading towards that.
Right. So we're heading towards that, we could say. But right now, I guess for you and I and every other common man who would encounter something like this, I think it is now for more public awareness is what we need to create, because something like this, keeps coming now and then, and we hear headlines and then it is forgotten about. But it is an issue that, comes up, crops up into every other home, in fact, that I've seen that has a smartphone and could fall prey to something like this. So I think at this point, of course, we're waiting for that law that will protect us and would take more stringent action against something that is defamatory in this nature. But till then, I guess we'll have to rely on this awareness and making people around us more aware of the fact that there are such tools that are out there and that can be misused, and also used in a good way if it has to be disseminating information to viewers. But I'd like to thank my guests here for joining us, giving us their view, and to all our viewers who've tuned in as well. I hope this was informative in that way that you understand what deepfake is all about and why it is making headlines once again, and how you can now protect yourself and also identify how, when, and why there is a deepfake around you. For everyone who's tuned in, thanks so much.
We have the best Diwali party in town. Stocks, songs, patakas with some of the most admired investors on the Lal Street.
Diwali is not just about lights, it's also about illuminating your financial future. So join me in our exclusive Diwali stock market extravaganza.
We'll dissect the market trends, unwrap hidden opportunities, and light up your portfolio with expert insights.
In the spirit of Diwali, come discover some hidden gems that can light up your investment journey.
From Diwali picks to strategic play, we've got you all covered. Don't miss out on the financial fireworks.
You don't want to miss it. See you on November 10th, 4:30 p.m.